It was one of those dreary afternoons when the sky seemed to weep, casting a gray hue over the bustling city. Sarah, a young woman in her mid-twenties, had just finished a long day at work and was eager to find refuge from the relentless rain. She hurried down the street, her umbrella barely keeping her dry as puddles formed on the sidewalk. The familiar sight of her favorite coffee shop, the Daily Grind, came into view, its warm lights glowing invitingly through the glass windows. As she stepped inside, the comforting aroma of freshly brewed coffee enveloped her, instantly lifting her spirits. The shop was cozy, filled with the soft hum of conversation and the gentle clinking of cups. Sarah took a moment to shake off the rain and scan the room, her heart racing with anticipation for her usual order, a caramel macchiato. Little did she know, this day would be anything but ordinary. As Sarah stood in line, her eyes wandered around the shop, taking in the eclectic decor and the friendly baristas. Suddenly, she noticed a familiar face a few spots ahead of her. It was Chris Evans, the star of her favorite superhero movies. Her heart skipped a beat. She had always admired his on-screen charisma, but seeing him in person was a different experience altogether. He was casually dressed in a hoodie and jeans, looking relaxed and approachable. Nervously, Sarah fidgeted with her phone, contemplating whether to say something. She watched as Chris placed his order, chatting easily with the barista, his laughter ringing out like music. It was clear he was just another person enjoying a cup of coffee, and that thought gave her a surge of courage. As he turned slightly, their eyes met for a brief moment, and Sarah felt a rush of excitement. This was her chance. Gathering her nerves, Sarah stepped forward as Chris finished his order. "Excuse me," she said, her voice slightly shaky. "I just wanted to say that I'm a huge fan of your work." To her surprise, Chris turned to her with a warm smile that lit up his face. "Thank you. That means a lot," he replied, his voice friendly and inviting. They began to chat, and Sarah found herself relaxing as they talked about everything from his latest movie to their mutual love for coffee. Chris was genuinely interested in what she had to say, asking her about her favorite films and sharing funny anecdotes from his experiences in Hollywood. The conversation flowed effortlessly, and Sarah felt as if she were talking to an old friend rather than a celebrity. As their conversation continued, Sarah couldn't help but feel a sense of disbelief. Here she was, standing in a coffee shop, having a casual chat with Chris Evans. When she shyly asked if they could take a selfie together, he grinned and said, "Of course. Let's do it." They posed together, and Chris even complimented her choice of drink, saying, "Great taste. Caramel macchiatos are the best." After the photo, they exchanged a few more laughs before Chris had to leave. "It was great meeting you, Sarah. Enjoy your coffee," he said, waving goodbye as he walked out into the rain. Sarah stood there, still in awe of the encounter. She took a sip of her drink, feeling a warmth that had nothing to do with the coffee. Chris Evans was not just a star, he was down-to-earth and genuine, making her feel special in that fleeting moment. As she left the coffee shop, Sarah couldn't help but smile, knowing that this rainy day had turned into an unforgettable experience. This chapter captures the essence of Sarah's encounter with Chris Evans, detailing the emotions and interactions that made the moment special. As Sarah walked home, the rain had lightened to a gentle drizzle, but her heart felt as if it were dancing in the sunshine. She replayed the moments in her mind, from the initial shock of seeing Chris to their easy conversation. It was surreal to think that a simple trip to the coffee shop had turned into a memorable encounter with someone she admired so much. Once home, she couldn't resist sharing the experience with her best friend, Emily. She quickly texted her, fingers flying over the screen, "You won't believe what just happened. I met Chris Evans at the Daily Grind. He was so nice and we talked for a bit." As she waited for Emily's response, Sarah felt a mix of excitement and disbelief. She had always dreamed of meeting a celebrity, but she never imagined it would be so genuine and heartfelt. When her phone buzzed with a reply, she eagerly opened it. "OMG. No way. You have to tell me everything." Over the next few days, Sarah found herself reflecting on the encounter more and more. She couldn't help but smile every time she thought about Chris's laughter and the way he made her feel comfortable. It was a reminder that celebrities, despite their fame, were just people too. She decided to post the selfie they took together on her social media, accompanied by a caption that read, "Sometimes, the rain brings unexpected joy. Met the amazing Chris Evans today, and he was just as wonderful as I imagined." The post quickly garnered likes and comments from friends and followers, all expressing their excitement and envy. As the days turned into weeks, Sarah found herself inspired by the encounter. She began to pursue her own passions more fervently, whether it was writing, painting, or simply enjoying life's little moments. Chris's kindness had ignited a spark in her, reminding her to embrace opportunities and connect with others. One afternoon, as Sarah was scrolling through her social media feed, she noticed a notification that made her heart race. Chris Evans had liked her post. She couldn't believe it. Her excitement was palpable as she shared the news with Emily, who squealed in delight. "This is amazing! You should totally DM him." After some encouragement, Sarah decided to send a message, thanking him for the lovely encounter and expressing how much it meant to her. To her astonishment, Chris replied a few hours later, saying, "I'm glad you enjoyed our chat. Keep being awesome." The exchange was brief, but it felt monumental to Sarah. It was a reminder that the connection they had, however fleeting, was real. She felt a sense of validation, knowing that her admiration for him was reciprocated in some small way. Months passed, and while life returned to its usual rhythm, the memory of that rainy day lingered in Sarah's heart. She often found herself daydreaming about the encounter, using it as motivation to step out of her comfort zone. Inspired by Chris's authenticity, she began volunteering at local charities, hoping to make a difference in her community. One day, while volunteering at a children's hospital, Sarah was surprised to see a familiar face walk through the doors. It was Chris Evans, there to spread some joy and visit the kids. Her heart raced as she approached him, and he recognized her instantly. "Hey, it's the caramel macchiato girl," he exclaimed, his face lighting up with a smile. They chatted briefly, and Chris took the time to engage with the children, bringing laughter and warmth to the room. Watching him interact with the kids, Sarah felt a deep sense of admiration. It was clear that his kindness extended beyond their brief encounter. He genuinely cared about making a positive impact. As she left the hospital that day, Sarah felt a renewed sense of purpose. The chance encounter had not only given her a cherished memory but had also inspired her to be a better person. Chris Evans had shown her that even small moments could lead to significant changes, and she was determined to carry that lesson with her for years to come. As the seasons changed, so did Sarah's life. The inspiration she drew from her encounter with Chris Evans had sparked a newfound passion for community service and personal growth. She began organizing local events to raise awareness for various causes, from environmental initiatives to mental health support. Each event was infused with her enthusiasm, and she found joy in bringing people together for a common purpose. One chilly autumn afternoon, while planning a charity run for a local children's hospital, Sarah received an unexpected message. It was from Chris Evans again. He had seen a post about her upcoming event and expressed his support, saying he would love to help in any way he could. Sarah's heart raced as she read the message. She couldn't believe that the actor she admired was willing to lend a hand. With Chris's encouragement, Sarah ramped up her efforts for the charity run. She reached out to local businesses for sponsorships and organized a team of volunteers to help with logistics. The event was set for a sunny Saturday in November, and excitement buzzed in the air as the day approached. On the morning of the charity run, Sarah arrived early to set up. The park was filled with colorful banners, and the sound of laughter echoed as families gathered. As she checked in participants, she felt a mix of nerves and exhilaration. Just as she was about to give her opening speech, she spotted a familiar figure approaching the registration table. It was Chris, looking casual yet charismatic in a fitted t-shirt and running shoes. "Hey, Sarah. Ready to run?" he said with a grin, his presence instantly calming her nerves. The event kicked off with a warm welcome from Sarah, who spoke passionately about the cause and the importance of community support. Chris stood by her side, encouraging participants and taking photos with fans. The energy was electric as runners took off, and Sarah felt a sense of pride watching everyone come together for a shared purpose. As they ran the course, Chris stayed close to Sarah, chatting and laughing as they encouraged each other. "You know, I never thought I'd be running a charity event in a park with a caramel macchiato girl," he joked, making her laugh. Their camaraderie made the experience even more special, and Sarah felt grateful for the friendship that had blossomed from their initial encounter. After the run, the park transformed into a celebration. Local food trucks lined the path, and live music filled the air. Families enjoyed the festivities, and Sarah felt a sense of fulfillment as she watched the community come together. Chris took the time to mingle with attendees, signing autographs and taking pictures, but he always returned to Sarah, sharing in the joy of the day. As the sun began to set, Sarah gathered everyone for a closing speech. She thanked the participants, sponsors, and volunteers, but most importantly, she expressed her gratitude to Chris for his support. "This wouldn't have been possible without you," she said, her voice filled with emotion. Chris smiled, his eyes reflecting genuine warmth. "You're the one who made this happen, Sarah. Your passion is contagious." As the event wrapped up, Sarah and Chris exchanged contact information, promising to stay in touch. They had formed a bond that went beyond their initial encounter, rooted in shared values and a commitment to making a difference. Over the following months, they continued to collaborate on various projects, each one more successful than the last. Their friendship blossomed, filled with laughter, support, and mutual respect. Chris often shared insights from his experiences in Hollywood, while Sarah inspired him with her dedication to community service. They became a dynamic duo, using their platforms to raise awareness for important causes and encourage others to get involved. 1 year after their first meeting, Sarah found herself back at the Daily Grind, the same coffee shop where it all began. As she sipped her caramel macchiato, she reflected on how much had changed in her life. The encounter with Chris had not only inspired her to pursue her passions, but had also led to a meaningful friendship that enriched her life. Just then, the door swung open, and in walked Chris, a big smile on his face. "I thought I'd find you here," he exclaimed, joining her at the table. They chatted about their latest projects and laughed over shared memories, both grateful for the serendipity that had brought them together. As they left the coffee shop, Sarah felt a sense of fulfillment. The chance encounter had transformed her life in ways she never imagined, reminding her that sometimes the most unexpected moments can lead to the most beautiful journeys.